Hello, and I guess this is another one of my field rants. Over the years, there are lots of questions that you get and questions you ask yourself. For example, today is International Women's Day, and I, according to my passport, my current birth certificate, I am a woman. So, hey, congratulations, it's my day. But being a woman is not real. Doesn't really feel like the main thing. I mean, like first of all, being born as something, and it's not really an achievement or anything, nothing to be proud of. But what also feels more important to me is, I guess, the fact that I'm an intersex woman. And then you get a whole question about, okay, what does it all mean to me? What does being a woman and what does being intersex mean to me? Like, it's a pretty simple question. What does it mean? But like, what weighting do we give to it? What kind of meaning? What purpose or anything? Do we feel happy with it? And I guess that when I think about it, and 21 years of my life, I just assumed, or it was assumed, and I was supposed to be a guy. I was supposed to be just a man. That's what had been told to me. At birth, they were like, okay, which genitals do we have? And that's it. That's who we are. And okay, then it kind of went completely off the rails during puberty, just a little bit, when it turned out that I have, of course, as a chimera, I have both male and female cells, so two different stem cell lines in the same body. That means you get an interesting composition, a chimera. Can be just with two male stem cell lines or with two female, but no, sometimes you get this whole male and female, and then whereas normally it's this assistive and it doesn't really do anything to each other, because it's just got, I mean, twins are really similar, and if you put two twins and you put them together, then it doesn't really make a difference. Well, unless they are male and female, and then you get something that's a bit more unique. I still think it's really special. I think that, at least, because just being intersex is this massive term that encapsulates just about any single intersex condition you can think of. And my specific condition, through hermaphroditism, so basically, as a result of being a chimera, that's pretty special, because the possibility of it even happening, as in two different fertilized eggs, one ending up as a male, one as a female zygote, actually melting together and forming a single individual, and then also having a pregnancy that doesn't suddenly go wrong and you have a spontaneous abortion. It also happens quickly in such cases. I mean, the fact that I exist is... It boggles the mind just to think of how rare it is that I even exist today. And that's, at least to me, this intersex condition I have, it does make me feel special. And I guess in a sense grateful, I guess, that I'm even here today, because it's not something that's... it's kind of against odds, really. It's that's really special. Then the whole struggle, of course, that I had to go through, just because I didn't know for 21 years. I had no idea that this was going on at all. I mean, I had some ideas because my body during puberty was doing weird things, and had weird symptoms and weird pains and weird lots of things, and the hormone situations I figure out later. Well, I never really had a real proper male level hormones. It was more feminine in many ways. So puberty was a complete and utter mess, and really delayed as well, or delayed, extended, because current maximum puberty started when I was around 11 and then continued until, still continues today. My body's just working through the last phase right now, so I guess that makes me 17 or so. And it's confusing, but it's also kind of fun and interesting because you have a body that is unlike that of most people around you. You're pretty rare and unique, and I think that's really special, and that does make me feel happy and grateful. I guess that I get to experience that because most people do not. So, but yeah, it's International Women's Day, and I'm a woman. I guess it should also mean something to me. I mean, I did, after all, I did get my official gender changed, and I had all of the changes made. I got the forced sterilization, even though I was very likely already, I was already sterile on the male side. And the biopsy they did on the removed testicles also showed, yes, they had never fully developed. It also explained the really low testosterone levels and all that, but they still had to undergo a forced sterilization, obviously. But then I got to have a female, an F, on my passport. So, yay. Which I mostly did. I mean, I've been trying to get just some answers about my body in general, and that took more than a decade of doctors being all difficult and getting accused of things like being transsexual and all that, and you're not getting anything of that. No answers. No, you just get the same kind of ignorance and bigotry, and this is futile. But the reason why I got my official gender change was really that, every single time you're in a waiting room or something like that, and you get called by the nurse or something, and they look at you, and the system says that you are a guy. You're a guy. And then they walk into the waiting room and they call your name, and they're like, wait a second, that is not right. You're not a guy. You're a woman. How is this possible? Is our system wrong or something? And you have to explain the whole thing, and if you have to do that at least a few times a month, you know how tedious it gets when people look at me and they assume that they're also going to see a guy. They assume that they're going to see a guy, and then they see me and they're like really confused, and you have to explain everything. And I was really fed up with that. So you get those balls chopped off, and then of course the surgery, also the exploratory surgery in the perineum, where the surgeon found that I also indeed, yes, you have a vagina, because see the entrance right there, it's there. Congratulations, you're a woman with a vagina. Go you. Of course, he did not have the skills to actually do the reconstructive surgery to open it and all that, so it's still closed today. And I cannot find a surgeon to actually get that fixed. So, every month I'm bleeding inside. Yay! Because I actually do have a cycle. This I also found out because I used to be on hormone therapy, and then suddenly had this massive super PMS and found out, my body is now producing its own hormones, and the additional hormones are just messing everything up and getting the worst possible PMS symptoms ever. So I quit doing that. But yeah, so basically I changed my official gender to female because that fits my appearance, and I guess I'm okay with it. I didn't hate having a male identity, I guess. I couldn't say I liked it either. It did not feel right. It don't feel right, but so I guess I'm happier this way. But as far as identity goes, maybe it's just the fact that the whole stereotypical thing, with being a woman and being a man, that never really applied to me, because physically I sucked at being pretending to be a guy. playing at being a guy was really one of the worst possible experiences for me, because my body isn't male. So, you try to walk like a male. Well, your pelvis and lower back are going to hate you for that, because that's not how they're supposed to be used, and you're going to hurt. It's really fun with PE sessions at school. And you try to talk like a guy, and oh my god, that really messed up my voice. The throat and everything. People were just always like, why is your voice always so dry and raspy? What are you doing with it? Try to talk normally. Well, it turns out that, I was faking talking like a guy. And then I learned how to walk normally and talk normally. And it turned out to be walking and talking like a regular woman would, because, surprise, surprise, my body is that of a woman. So, I mean, and that's maybe the ridiculous thing about all of that. That's after you've gone through years of that bullshit and getting doctors even telling you that, hey, you're totally a guy, you look at your body. We're telling you right now as experts and professionals on everything gender and sex and intersex and everything. You have the body of a guy. You have a body of a guy. That's who we are. Believe us, trust us. We're experts, we're professionals. Guess what? They were wrong. They were totally wrong. I mean, I don't have to use hormones anymore because my body is doing the whole female hormone thing by itself. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that I have funny genitals, I guess, which nobody normally notices, and I guess my I've got some chromosomes which have this little amputated Y chromosome in there. A tiny one, in addition to the double X ones. So it's a bit of a mess in that regard, but basically speaking, I'm as much a woman as anyone else out there who calls themselves a woman. I'd say so. I mean, I guess I'm a naturally born woman, like biologically. I mean, I had not any surgery or anything, and so I'm a woman, but I'm also intersex. I'm a chimera, and so many things that could be your identity. And I guess that's what kind of gets to me with it's on those days like International Women's Day and such, is that, like, okay, I'm a woman, biologically I'm a woman, mostly. But what does a day like that really mean to me? Especially considering in light of everything that I've gone through. It's just, what does it mean to me? What does being a woman, what does being intersex mean to me? I mean, being a woman for me mostly means that having an easier life, because it fits my parents, it fits my body, and for society, it's just like, congratulations, you're a woman. If they see me on the street or anywhere, I mean, as long as I keep my clothes on, I mean, I can go to the swimming pool, can do anything, just showering afterwards, after swimming. I probably shouldn't strip down completely in the public showers. But beyond that, nobody notices. I'm just a woman. And to me, that really means just being a woman, just less fuss, less complications, and more clothing that actually fits, because there was also a big issue not having a male body and then still trying to wear male clothes. That's a freaking nightmare, because nothing fits. Everything is too big. Everything has the wrong fit. Everything requires wearing a belt so it doesn't drop off your freaking waist because you don't have a waist. So that is what being a woman mostly means to me. Just this convenience, it just makes life a lot easier in many ways. And it's kind of like solves part of the struggles that I went through over the years, and that's a nice thing. It's a good thing. So, in summary, I guess being a chimera, a hermaphrodite, it's so freaking unique. It's so awesome. But the way society fails to deal with it is just, that is beyond horrific. That is just horrific. And there, being a woman then helps to counteract that, at least partially, in that I can just fit the binarist expectations, the binary system of male and female. Like, I fit in there, and they look the part, and they talk the part, and everything is fine. Unless I want to get medical help, obviously, then suddenly you're this complicated case, and you get those not so nice things tossed at you, like getting your intersex condition called things like a rare disease, like here in Germany. Or they call you, you're not intersex, you have a disorder of sex development, because obviously something went horribly wrong and you have now a medical disorder, so that means that you cannot function normally. You're basically, it's a nice way to call you a freak in many ways, and I do not appreciate that. Because my body does not deserve that. I don't deserve that. And on days like these, I think that the important thing is that something like International Women's Day, and of course in International Intersex Day, for the, I think, couple dozen people who actually follow that one. I think the important thing is there that it's about respect and understanding, and mostly about humanism. The realization that although we're different, we may look different, we're still all human. And if we can just keep it at that and accept that no matter which genitals you have, no matter which genitals you do not have, no matter what your genetic makeup is, or anything, you're still human. And that makes you just as much human as everybody else. And I think that summarizes pretty well what it all means to me. So, yeah, have a nice day, and thank you for listening to my ranting.